So for the next step for our eye color wheel is to get all our materials. So we need a color wheel, we need our paint, we need water, we need a paint palette, we need our paint brushes, and then also we need our palette knife to get our paint. So to start, we'll take a look at the color wheel sample that we have here, and we're going to go in the same order of the color wheel. And just as a quick trick, when you rotate the colors here, you can actually read the color wheel to see what colors you can mix when you mix two together. So I'm going to get set up here. Next I'm going to put a medium amount of paint on the paint palette, so probably about the size of a dime, like a dollop the size of a dime goes in the wells of the paint palette. Now I'm cleaning off my palette knife before I get some white, and I'm putting it in a fourth well. So I put red in 3 wells and then white in 1 of the wells of my palette. Now I'm going to add a teeny tiny amount of black to that first well. So now I took a little bit of red and I mixed it into the white to make my tint of red. So it's just a pink. So tint is just white plus the color. Now I'm mixing in that black into red, and now I have a shade of red, which is just black plus your color. That's a shade. So I had a little too much black, so I'm adding in a little bit of red to lighten that slightly so it doesn't just look pure black. So next I'm going to go ahead and label the sections of my eye. So it goes red, then red, orange, and then orange when I look at the color wheel. So you want to make sure to get the same order on your paper as the color wheel sample. So I'm painting in my first section here, my pure red color. So this doesn't have anything mixed into it. It's just red straight from the tube. Now I'm going to use a smaller brush to get the finer details and make that look just perfect. Next I will take my shade, so that has black mixed in. I'm using my small brush and I'm just making a little bit dark on the outer edge of the iris, and I'm adding in some lines because if you look at your iris, the color isn't just solid. It kind of looks like lines or streaks, so that's what I'm painting in. So now I take my tint, so my pink, and I add those same sort of streaks towards the center near the pupil, and so it goes from light to dark. Now I'm ready to mix up some more color again. So to make red orange, all I need to do is add a little bit of yellow. So I'm going to start with a small amount of yellow. I can always add in more yellow later if I need it. So I'm putting in an amount about the size of a pencil eraser, and I'm just mixing it in, cleaning my knife or my paintbrush before I mix each of these colors. But I'm just mixing it all in. So I'm going to start with my shade of red, because that's orange red, excuse me, because that's what I already have on my brush. I'll clean my brush off, and now I'm going to take my red orange that I just mixed, and I'm going to paint in the rest of the section. Now I'll go back and put a little bit with my small brush, more of that shade on there, and then my tint of red orange. I'm ready to mix up some more color again, and again I'm just adding a little bit of yellow to make my regular orange. So red orange plus yellow makes orange. I paint in the orange section here, then I'm going to mix up my tint of orange, use my small brush to apply it there near the pupil, use my small brush after I clean it off again, and add my shade towards the outer edge of the pupil. So again, add more yellow again to my palette to make yellow orange. So I'm going to mix that up, and when I mix this, I see it looks still very red. So I put yellow in its own well and then just used my paintbrush that already had red orange on it, and now I made my yellow orange. So use my small brush, do my tint of yellow orange, use my small brush to mix up the shade, and I'm adding my shade of yellow orange. So now I'll blend it slightly, and that's it for today.